Center Stage Gospel Music live from Memphis, Tennessee, featuring gospel artists from around the world. Toe tapping, hand clapping, down at home gospel music. Watch on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and your local Comcast. Download the SVP TV app now on your smart television and mobile device. Center Stage Gospel season premieres Sunday, 8 p.m. Central. Tune in to Talking Law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill and the special guest host, Attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome to Talking Law with Daryl O'Neill. I'm your host. I got my main man with Jerome.
What's up, Daryl?
Man, we took a Thanksgiving vacation?
Yeah.
Took a little vacation, man, but we back in the saddle
And
now.
came back when it's cold as a mug.
Man, the hawk is for real,
Yes,
boy.
sir. Yes, sir. But it's that time of year, you know.
So we need to say to you, if you have Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick, SVBT app, you can call us right now, ask questions. We'll answer those questions live and in charge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, if you don't call now, you got to wait till either next week, or you have to leave a message on the website, and then, in the chat box, and then we'll have to respond to it later.
Okay.
That's just how that is.
Yeah, that's how it works.
But there is, and we say this every show, Jerome, there's very few times lawyers gonna give you something free. Lawyer gonna give you some free advice. So this is what we do here. We try to give it to you for free.
Right.
So you got any question, any concern, whatever that question may be, give us a call. We'll answer those questions. Need to give our shout outs to, let's go all the way to the West Coast, California.
Cali.
Welcome California to the show.
Cali.
Need to say welcome to Little Rock, welcome to West Memphis, Arkansas, welcome to Memphis, Shelby County, Tennessee, Mississippi, right across the border there for us.
Right.
And welcome to the great state of Missouri.
Hey, Mom.
My mother, man, I always got to say, what's up, Mom?
Is Mom coming for Christmas?
Man, my mom ain't going over. My mom is here, dog.
Great.
I ain't never letting her go. I keep telling you that, man.
I don't blame you.
I ain't never letting her go.
I sure don't blame you. Bro. Don't blame you at all.
So here we are. It's Christmas time. We're getting close to that time. So what do we have for you? We got a gift basket of law for you today.
Oh, wow.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Hey, I like that,
gift
man.
basket of law.
I like that.
So here's your present today.
And what do you give the person who has everything?
Give them some legal advice.
Yeah, some legal advice.
Give them some legal advice.
Right. So you can keep what you have.
Yes,
Or
indeed.
somebody's out there trying to take it from you.
Somebody's always trying.
Always trying to take it from you.
So look, the end of the year, this cold, the weather changes, flus, COVID, all these types of things. You have your body starts doing some up and down things. And who is going to take care of your affairs when you're not around?
That's right. That's right.
Who are going to take care of your affairs when you're sick?
Well, I knew you were coming this way. You said when you're not around, but there is something that you can do while you are around.
Oh.
But somewhat incapacitated. It could be temporary, or it could be permanent. But at least your affairs can still be handled during that period of time.
Let me just tell you something. The most telling thing in the world is, and you know who your family are. You know the sister or the brother that is always trying to get over. And you know the sister or the brother that don't care about nobody but themselves. And guess what? Your mother knows that person. Your father knows that person. So if they put together who's going to take care of their funds, you need to have in mind that you're not going to have that person that only thinks about them overseeing your funds.
That's right. That's exactly right.
You can do these things with a power of attorney. What I've noticed, and has how always happens, Jerome, with the power of attorney, because a power of attorney basically says that this person can be me.
That's right.
If I'm not me, this person can be me.
That's right.
The problem is you can't get a power of attorney when somebody has dementia or Alzheimer's.
And there, you know what, and that's unfortunate that we see the person declining and declining, and ultimately, it's just as soon as they reach the point where we can't do it, that's when all of a sudden it becomes an emergency.
Right.
They start calling around.
Right.
But what we're trying to do tonight is to get you to be cognizant of the fact that it's inevitable that person is going to reach a point where we can't do anything to help you.
And let me just say this. One of the things that, like, I was able, my sister died recently, and I was able to take care of some of my sister's affairs. But I'm in a unique scenario, because you know that scenario that I am.
Yes.
And so my sister said that my brother, she says to people, my brother's going to handle my affairs. No power of attorney, no nothing. But what separates me from anybody else is that thing called JD.
Right.
The fact that I am a licensed attorney.
That's right.
Means that anybody can say that, and all I got to do is, I don't have to have a power of attorney.
Right.
All I got to do is send a letter of representation, and then automatically says that I represent this person.
That's right. That's
and
good.
then people have to speak to me on behalf of that person
That's
because
good.
I have a letter of representation saying that I represent that person. But most people are not going to have that, Jerome.
That's right, exactly.
So you got to get that power of attorney. Now here's what happens. A power of attorney says that whatever you put in that power of attorney, you can put a power of attorney together that says that you can only handle my financial affairs.
That's a limited
Power of attorney.
power of attorney, yeah.
You can put a power of attorney and say the only thing you can do is
Healthcare.
Healthcare.
Yeah,
You
right.
can only make all my healthcare decisions.
That's right.
Or you can have a durable power of
That's
attorney.
exactly right.
Which, in a durable power of attorney, it gives the person the ability to handle all your affairs.
Right.
And I think what I normally do when I do a durable power of attorney is I ask the people, do they want this person to do health care? And then I add an additional blurb in there for health care.
That's good.
Because you don't necessarily have to have two separate documents.
Right,
Most
right.
people think you do. And a lot of lawyers will prepare two different documents. And the reason, I probably shouldn't say this out loud,
Yeah.
but I think they do that for a financial reason.
Um,
Because I think the reality of it is a durable power of attorney, that's what it is. It gives you power of attorney to do anything. It's flexible. It allows you to do anything that's inside of that document. So if you want health care to be in that document, you put that in there. And then in order for it to be durable, you have to have these magic words at the end of it that says, in the event of disability, this document will survive.
Right.
Because if you don't have that, it's not a durable power of attorney. And banks won't accept it if you don't have that language.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They won't accept
Yeah.
it. I don't think they're wrong, but they won't accept it if you don't have that language in there.
I thought, I'm thinking that the label, the title says durable power of attorney.
Yeah.
But again, I can understand too that language has to be at the bottom before they sign, something like a attestation clause.
Yeah.
That
It-
makes sense.
Yeah, and it's not really, you're not really required to have attestation, but you're really required to have a notary.
Right.
You have to have somebody to say that I can validate that was Daryl's signature. That was Daryl, and you should be a power of attorney. And I mean a notary.
Right.
Somebody that has that notary skill that says that I saw Daryl is presumed to be the person that signed it. Did you know that? It's a presumption of correctness when a notary signs it.
I can see that. Because the person says, and the notary says that I personally, either by document or knew the person who signed this document.
Right.
So yes,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, and so, that gives that presumption that that person is who they are and did, said what they said.
But the other thing too there I just thought about is that the notary is not responsible for the contents
No.
of the document,
No.
only that they witness the signature.
Yeah.
So the notary doesn't necessarily have to know what's contained
No.
within the document.
No.
Right?
That's absolutely
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what one of the things that I talk to notaries
Yeah.
about, I've always had to say this to notaries, because they said, well, this document, I don't know what this document
Right.
With all due respect, you shouldn't even care what it is.
And you basically you don't want to know because
You're not giving legal advice.
that's exactly right.
Only thing you're saying is that Daryl O'Neal, I saw Daryl O'Neal's ID. This is Daryl O'Neal's signature, and I witnessed it, and I stamped saying that I witnessed it.
Do you keep your notary book there?
I have one.
I got one too.
I do not.
And that's probably,
Yeah, my daughter is notorious with hers.
is that right?
Oh my goodness, man. She be but see, I only notarize clients.
Okay.
I won't notarize anybody that's not my client.
Okay.
And so I don't. It's my client. I'm
Right.
not really
I
paying
got you.
attention
I
to
got
it
you. I got you.
because it's my client. But yeah, my daughter is notorious about it. I mean, she has her book, man, and you got to sign it.
As long as I've been to know, I've never used my book.
Yeah.
And we should.
Yeah, and I think my wife used her book a lot
We,
too.
and we probably should there. We probably, you know what? This is a good time for us to correct some behavior.
It's some bad behavior that we got. We
That
probably
you pick up over the years.
pick up
you
over
start
the
picking
years.
some bad behavior up.
Yeah, I was John talking to John Day today, and he said.
Oh yeah, not John Days, the guy who wrote the book
Yeah.
about comparative fault, didn't it?
Yeah. So John says that when you do things, you need to solidify them, because if you don't, recapture it in the email or solidify it in some kind of document, then it gets lost potentially. You could forget about it or say I didn't do it, I did do it. You can't really prove that it in fact happened. So yeah, that's why the book exists.
Right. I like that.
The book exists to, now here where Jerome and I disagree, and it's not unusual. The lawyers disagree.
No, not at all. Otherwise, you'd only have one lawyer.
You only have one lawyer. You only have one lawyer.
Right.
Jerome believes that, and I don't disagree with him, that people have periods of lucidity.
That's exactly right.
And when they're lucid, they can sign a document.
That's exactly right.
Because they know what they were signing at that particular time.
Right.
And again, the thing is, I don't know that the law says you can't have dementia or you can't have Alzheimer's when you prepare the document. The law says that at the time that you prepare the document, were you competent? And, as an attorney, you would get I know what competent is.
Right.
Okay, if I'm asking you a question and you talking about last week, we got some problems. If I smell the brewery coming out your mouth, we got some problems. Or if you came in and I asked you, did you smoke all the weed? Then, I'm not doing anything for you.
Right.
Because, I'm assuming that you're impaired.
That's right.
And impaired is analogous to incompetent.
Or it appears to me that someone has influence over you, and you're not really aware of what's going on, but you keep watching this person and this person, and every time I ask you a question, somebody else is answering for you, then that's a problem to me. That means that's undue influence.
Exactly. And here's what you and I do. I know you do because you told me you do it. And this is what I do. When I do a power of attorney or even a will for somebody, when I start those conversations with those people, when I'm working through it, they are in that room by themselves.
Absolutely.
I don't let nobody else in there.
Absolutely.
Because I am not, if they got to look to you for an answer,
Absolutely.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, and and the thing about it too there is that so it requires a few minutes of getting comfortable with with your client, because it doesn't matter. The person that's sitting over there on the side with the checkbook in their hand, it doesn't matter. My client is the person that I'm dealing with.
Right.
So, but I want that person to be comfortable with me before I take them off by themselves, so we can maintain attorney-client privilege.
Correct.
And that's the purpose of us having just the one-on-one conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we, like I said, because, if you start off with my mom has dementia or my mom has Alzheimer's, we won't even schedule an appointment.
Right.
I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
Because, again, I just don't want to be bothered.
Well, I'm a little bit different because when I'm questioning them, I asked them, does your mom or dad or whomever it is, do they have any idea about what's going on presently? Do they have present day memory? I mean, so, because without that, I'm not gonna move forward.
Right.
So, just like you said, so I will allow them to present and then make my decision based on how they respond to my questions, because they have to be alert times 3 to themselves, to time, and the surroundings. So
Yeah, person, place, and time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So if that's, I'm okay with that, Daryl.
Yeah. I mean, and look, you and I both come from a medical background.
That's right.
And that's what we even doing in EMS.
Exactly.
We check your level, it's level of consciousness.
That's
level
right.
of consciousness
That's right.
times 3. And if you have level of consciousness times 3, then you are functioning.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I get that.
In fact, that's required to document each time that you have a contact with a
Yeah.
client or a patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not that adept because my documentation is not required to be that in depth as an attorney
Right.
from the medical perspective. Because
Okay.
I'm not doing medical analysis, I'm doing legal analysis. And so I try not to cross the line.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And look, I have the skill to cross the line.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But I try not to cross the line.
That's interesting.
Because like I said, as a paramedic instructor, ACLS person, all the bells and whistles that I have on the medical
Right.
side, I try to stay away from each other, keep them separated.
And that's a good thing. I'm just thinking though, in my mind that you're using the same skill set.
You are.
Yeah,
You are.
So pretty much, yeah.
You are.
But it's always the idea that it's going to be challenged at some point.
Right.
And that's why you have to cross all the T's and dot your I's, because at some point somebody is going to possibly challenge it. 1 out of maybe 100 times, but it's going to be challenged.
Yeah, I mean, again, I have one of those. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
because again, certain things I don't do. If my office does a power of attorney for you or a will for you, we stand by it.
Mhm.
Because now, obviously, we may have made a typo here, a typo there.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, we know that the person that we did that power of attorney for was absolutely competent.
Yes. Yes.
We did both documents, so there's no doubt in our mind. And during the time, most of the time, it was me before my daughter and my new associate. It was just me, or before my previous associates. Even then, I did most of those types of, because I did those things. That was something that my office wanted to do.
Right.
And so I oversaw those things.
Okay,
Because
okay.
I wanted to make sure that people that look like me understand it's important to get your affairs in order.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
You know.
And there we're seeing it more and more. In fact, there's a recent death that came about. I think the young rapper who was just killed down in Houston somewhere. I don't think he had his affairs quite right, because now they're trying to go on over his estate now, and it's some problems. Aretha Franklin has some problems.
Yeah.
We just don't want to die, man.
And that's always the issue. We don't want power attorneys because we don't want to turn people over
Right.
to do things for us.
Right.
We don't want to have wills because we ain't gonna die.
Right.
I mean, and that is the ultimate thing with black people. And that's the reason why I am adamant about doing those
That's
things. I do church presentations on them. I do all kinds of things because we are adamant that we're not going to die and we're never going to lose our mental faculties.
That's right. And I'm going to always know how, who, and what, and it's just not true.
It's just not true.
And in fact, that man, Alzheimer and dementia is probably one of the worst diseases. It's probably worse than cancer.
Yeah.
To watch somebody deteriorate all the way back to almost almost to infancy almost.
Right, yeah.
Because they become as a child.
Yeah.
And
They said that
what
that's a slow.
right? The scripture said it, huh?
Yeah, Alzheimer's. My understanding, Alzheimer's and dementia is a slow
It
death.
is something else, man. My brother is experiencing it now, and each, like every month or so, he continues to deteriorate more and more and more. They start wetting on themselves. I start wearing Depends. They're leaving the home. You can't rest at night because you don't know whether they're gonna get up and leave out in the middle of the night. And my sister-in-law, she can't immediately go after him because she's undressed. You know, you gotta put something on because that person has been planning whatever mental information they still have. They know enough to be deceptive.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm getting ready to go to the club. I'm going somewhere, dog,
Right.
and you ain't stopping.
That's
If
right.
I move fast enough,
That's
you
right.
can't catch
That's
me.
exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, it's always sad when somebody comes to my office and say, "Hey, my mom is in this, or my dad is in this terrible scenario, and I need some help." And then I have to tell them the only thing I can do is we can do a conservatorship.
That's right.
And that process, is long, that process is extremely expensive.
That's right.
And if you got to fight your siblings or fight your family members, it's time consuming. I mean, it would be nice if they would not fight you, then you can make it happen like that.
And that's a very good point there, because I always try and get them to get together first of all.
Mhm.
You need to have this family meeting,
Uh,
because the court can see that. What is it? When they appoint somebody.
They're going to put, so they'll normally
guardian
appoint a guardian ad litem.
guardian ad litem, but will determine that person is just not fit.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then you got to worry about somebody who's able to be bonded too.
Right.
It's
That bonding thing is tough.
yes, and some people just won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
So the better thing to do is to go ahead and address these issues now, while the person still has lucidity, so you don't have to deal with this court thing.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's tough. And see, that's the other problem. The other thing about getting a conservator on a conservatorship is, you're going to take rights from people. And a lot of times, because one of the things that has to happen, which people don't realize, is you actually have to serve the person
absolutely.
that you're going to take their rights from.
Yeah.
So they got to be served.
Right.
So, now you got to serve this person, and they get pissed.
And I was about to say they could blow their stack.
Man,
What?
You gonna take over me? You know what I mean?
My driver's license?
My license.
Yeah.
I can't vote.
Right.
I mean, so those are things that are always out there.
That's right.
I mean, it's traumatic, but you got to handle your affairs. And look, as you get older, if you were a butt all the way up till you get to a certain point, as you get older, you better figure out how to get in control. Because as you get older, somebody is going to have to look out for your
That's
affairs.
exactly right.
And you want somebody to, for lack of a better word, to like you.
And you better start. They have a few dollars,
Yeah.
and they take them to the bank
Yeah.
and sit there and withdraw money
Yeah.
out of their account. They're signing their names to
Yeah.
checks. They are using their debit cards.
Mhm.
All of these things are illegal,
Yeah.
and you can wind up in jail time. You ever seen the probate court judge send somebody to jail?
I have not seen a probate court just do this, but I got a case right now where there's this dispute and they file criminal charges against my client. Again, you can't go to jail if the money has been misappropriated.
Okay.
If it's all accounted for, or if the estate is all in affairs, then there's no reason for the criminal court to be in the middle of it.
I got you.
Because that's a probate issue, and the probate court can matter.
I got you.
But if the money is missing and there's some theft involved,
Okay.
yeah, I get that. Because now we got something going on.
Right.
But yeah, no. That's fraud.
Yeah.
And it's a criminal fraud.
It's criminal.
You
Yes.
know, and so you can end up in somebody's jail.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not on your first offense.
What's it?
Yeah.
But I mean, and also depends on how much money you take too.
Well,
you know.
yeah. Well, they got white collar jail. Well, maybe not as much as the Fed system, but
Right.
but yeah. I mean, you could end up in somebody's jail
For sure.
You definitely can end up on some probation that, if in fact it's determined that you stole money, that you got to pay that money back. So you could end up into that scenario. So I mean, there's always somewhere that you can be bad when you start messing with people's money.
And I don't know. The better thing to do is just to do it the right way
Yeah.
from the very beginning, and then you don't have to have all of these bad consequences
Yeah.
that's out there waiting
Yeah.
to trap you.
Yeah, and maybe I'm a simpleton, Jerome. I don't see why you would steal from your parents. I don't see why you.
Well, a dollar doesn't have a name.
Yeah.
A dollar don't have mama.
Don't have mama,
Don't have
daddy.
mama on there. Don't have daddy. I guess if it had mama or daddy,
Yeah.
then maybe.
Yeah.
And
So
people will lie. People will cheat.
Yeah. So it's sad. All right. So
People will lie. People will cheat.
Yeah. So it's sad. All right, y'all. Well, look, y'all wasted another 30 minutes where y'all didn't call in and ask some questions. Again, there's no bad questions. It's the only bad question is the one you don't ask.
That's right.
So again, thank you for watching the show. You got another topic you want us to talk about? We got a couple more days on this because we just talked about
Power of attorney.
power of
mostly,
attorney.
yes.
So we got a little bit more that we want to discuss about this.
I think that's true.
So we'll be back next week. Thank you for watching the show. We'll see you soon.
SVP, SVP TV, we're family for all your needs. SVP, SVP TV, we're family. We're gonna make you fall in love. SVP, SVP TV.
Looking for something new? We thought so. SVP is mixing things up, and digital TV, it'll never be the same.
SVP TV, we're family. We're gonna make you fall in love. SVP.
Download the SVP app today on Roku, Apple, and Fire TV. Watch us. You know why?
We're gonna make you fall in love with SVP TV.
You're talking about a good time scene. When we all come on now.
Center Stage Gospel Music live from Memphis, Tennessee, featuring gospel artists from around the world. Toe tapping, hand clapping, down home gospel music. Watch on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and your local Comcast.